Hello, Dawn Moore at Allegiance Title Company. Last week I spoke to you about the issues surrounding multiple offers from a seller's perspective. Today I want to talk to you about multiple offers from a buyer's perspective. Again, there are several misconceptions, both among the agents who represent the buyers in a multiple offer situation and the buyers themselves. Often I'm asked, doesn't the listing agent have a duty to present my offer to the seller immediately upon receipt? And does the listing agent have the right to hold my offer until he receives another offer before presenting my offer to the seller? My answer to that question is that the License Act does not require a listing agent to present an offer to a seller within a certain period of time of receipt. Nor does the License Act require the listing agent to present the first offer in before presenting all other offers to the seller. The listing agent is required to act in the best interest of the seller. The Act does require the listing agent to present all offers to the seller unless the seller instructs otherwise. The only time constraint that a listing agent may have in presenting an offer will deal with offers that are presented with an expiration time and date to that offer. Then, in my opinion, it is incumbent on the listing agent to present that offer to the seller within that time period so that the seller can accept that offer if he so chooses to. If that offer is presented after the offer expires, then any acceptance, if you will, of that offer by a seller is really a counteroffer, because the offer had already been revoked at that end of that period. The listing agent, of course, can call the seller with an offer that has been received with an expiration time and date and ask the seller if this is something they would accept. If the seller says no, then the listing agent has no time constraint to present the written offer to the seller. The listing agent may and can gather several offers before delivering to the seller for review. I do think it is prudent for a buyer in a multiple offer situation to put an expiration time and date on his offer. If there is no time constraint in the offer, that gives the seller the ability to counter another of the multiple offers received on his property and hold on to your buyer's offer pending the outcome of that negotiation or counter with another offer. This keeps your buyer in limbo. So I think it is better that the buyer put an expiration time and date on his offer so he is not held hostage to the seller's negotiation with another offer. There is a form that sellers use in multiple offer situations which serves actually as a rejection of the buyer's offer and an invitation to the buyer to make a different, more intriguing offer to the seller. Your buyers must understand, however, that that is an invitation from the seller to the buyer to make a new offer to the seller. That buyer's new offer can be either accepted or rejected by the seller, irrespective of the fact that the buyer matches the exact terms that the seller invites the buyer to offer. As long as your buyer understands that, then they will be prepared for whatever frustration they may feel when they've made a new offer on the exact terms the seller invited them to and the seller rejects the offer. In multiple offer situations, the offer that usually wins is higher than list price. Both buyers and sellers must understand that there may be appraisal issues with regard to that. In that situation, the seller may want to see more cash down payment from the buyer. The more cash down payment there is provided for in the contract, the less impactful an insufficient appraisal will be. Finally, if a buyer loses out on an offer, he or she can write a backup contract on the property. The buyer must understand, however, that the option fee that they pay on the contract is due the minute they execute that backup contract. That fee is paid for the right to walk away from that backup at any time during the backup period and the number of days specified in paragraph 23 once it becomes primary. That is a fee that is due for the right, irrespective of whether the buyer ever exercises that right. And that fee is not refundable even if the buyer never becomes primary. Once again, the buyer is paying for the right to walk away, whether or not ever exercised. I hope this information will be useful to you as we prepare for this robust spring market. Allegiance Title wants to be your resource for results, and we'd love the opportunity to close with you in the near future. Thank you.